My Hero Academia Chapter 394 is finally out, and with it comes the climactic conclusion to the Battle of the Beauties, Ochaco Uraraka and Himiko Toga. After all this build-up, the finale is finally here, and it just might take a turn you weren't expecting. But before we begin, don't forget to Detroit smash that subscribe button to keep up with all the Lunchtime Crew / My Hero content. And so, without further ado, let's jump right into My Hero Academia Chapter 394, titled Ochaco Uraraka vs. Himiko Toga. This chapter opens up right back where the last chapter left off, with Ochaco Uraraka, after awakening the full power of her quirk, realizing that her quirk has reached a new level even she doesn't understand. Toga, in seeing all of her copies begin to float, and yes, I mean all, Uraraka's power has gone beyond even what I thought it was, attempts to make more clones to deal with the situation. However, upon creating new copies, Himiko quickly notices that they are also affected by the zero gravity bubbles, which are the orbs Ochaco seems to be shooting out of her fingers, causing them to float as soon as they are born. Now, it is also important to note that it would seem this mass zero gravity effect is indiscriminate, as we see the heroes Kamui Woods and Tiger of the Wild Wild Pussycats being floated into the air also, forcing Kamui to latch onto the ground and grab onto Tiger to stop them from floating up with the copies. It's also interesting to note that upon seeing Ochaco unleash her full power, Tiger comments on how much Ochaco has grown in the past year, which I thought was a nice little touch considering he trained her during the forest training camp, which is the first time Ochaco and Toga met / fought. But anyways, back over to the fight, we see that Ochaco's wounds and loss of blood has started to catch up on her, causing her body to feel faint. Regardless, Uraraka pushes forward, stating that right now the only thing that matters is for her to fight the sadness inside of Toga. Ochaco then grabs Toga's arm with her grapple hook, and as she pulls Toga toward her, she starts to do the very thing she admired most in Toga. She starts to express her true feelings to the villain. Ochaco goes on to explain that she didn't come from a rich family like some of the other heroes, and in fact one of the main reasons she initially wanted to become a hero was to help her poor family financially. However, upon experiencing what it actually meant to be a hero, she quickly learned that there are many more and much bigger problems in the world than her family's finances. There are so many other people in the world who need help. So she started to work at becoming a true hero who helps everyone. She then admits that it was also during this part of her life of wanting to become a genuine hero that she developed a crush on Midoriya, which I think is the first time Ochaco actually stated that she liked Midoriya out loud to another person. Ochaco then goes on to say that all of this history, her past, her dedication, her desire to be a true hero, and her love for Midoriya defines her as Ochaco Uraraka, the person she is today. And it's why she is here right now, determined to stop Toga. Ochaco finally ends this speech by pulling Toga towards her and facing off against the villain one-on-one in the sky as she cries out, asking Toga to tell her everything she's thinking, everything she's feeling, and everything she's ever felt. Toga, still furious, continues to battle with Ochaco, and thanks to Uraraka's injuries, she easily gets the upper hand on our beloved hero who can fight no more. With Ochaco physically unable to defend herself and now face to face with her greatest adversary, Toga raises her knife, preparing for the final blow. And as she thrusts her hand downwards towards the bloodied, battered, and broken Ochaco, the memories of Twice and her own tragic past begin to flood her mind, with the story cutting once again to the end of the last chapter to the image of a young Ochaco putting her arm out for Toga to take her blood, except now we see that Toga isn't a child, but a horrifying, contorted monster with a terrifying, joy-filled smile, preparing to end the innocent, pure-hearted child before her. But just as the knife is about to reach and finish off our beloved zero-gravity girl, the blade stops, and Toga, with tears in her eyes, does the one thing she wanted to do, the one thing Uraraka asked her to do. She starts talking. Toga, still holding the knife above Ochaco, mind you, explains that she falls in love very easily, be it with animals, villains, heroes, boys, or girls. She is attracted to blood and can't help it. However, growing up, people were terrified of her happiness and true smile, so she was always told not to smile, leading her to become envious of other people's happiness. Toga continues, saying that in school she had a crush on a boy called Saito, who looked just like Izuku, and all she ever wanted to do was ask him to let her drink a little bit of his blood, to express her love for him, but she couldn't do it, because she knew from her previous experience of trying to express herself that if she did, everyone would call her inhuman and tell her that she wasn't cute. Unfortunately, this restraint and consistent burial of her true emotions built inside of her, ripping and tearing her on the inside, until one day it broke her, which led to an incident in which she killed Saito. And as Toga says all of this, we see floating in the sky isn't the hero and villain facing off in a battle for justice, but two little girls, the child version of Toga and Ochaco, talking about their true feelings. Toga, now clearly full of emotion, quickly raises her arm and slashes down at Ochaco, but rather than pierce her with the blade in her hand, she slams her arm against the hero and lowers her head, admitting that the League of Villains were and are the only ones who accepted her love. And they did it from the very start. Ochaco, now embracing Toga in her arms, tells Toga that she has been showing signs of suffering from this trauma since their first encounter, but she has only realized it now, and she can finally see Toga. And shortly after this statement, we see that all of the Twice clones have started to turn to dust. Toga then realizes that her time with the copy quirk is finally up, and the quirk's effects are coming undone, meaning that once again, Jin Bubagaiwara will disappear. As all the Twice clones slowly start to disappear and fade around them, Ochaco, with her arms still wrapped around Toga, tells her that she also admires people who keep doing their best even when they're hurt and bleeding, and that she knows she'll never be able to take the League's place in Toga's heart, but she meant it when she said how beautiful Toga's smile is. Toga, in hearing this, immediately starts crying even more, and with a smile on her face, she asks Ochaco, "Am I cute?" To which Ochaco smiles back and replies, "The cutest in the whole world." And as we are left with the image of Himiko Toga smiling with her true face, we are also left with the remnants of her rage and hatred fading away into the sky as all of the remaining Twice clones turn to dust and blow away in the wind. And that's it for chapter 394. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like. For more content like this, subscribe to the Lunchtime crew. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. It's lunchtime!